Have you ever caught yourself doing something completely weird when you thought no one was watching? Maybe you were pacing back and forth in your room like a caged animal while trying to make a simple decision. Or perhaps you're having a full-blown two-sided debate with yourself about something that happened 3 years ago. Most of the time, we hide these behaviors. We're afraid they make us look unstable, antisocial, or just plain strange. But what if I told you that according to psychology, 90% of high IQ individuals share these exact hidden habits? In the world of the explained self, human behavior makes sense when you understand the hidden mechanics behind it. Your brain isn't glitching, it's actually operating on a higher frequency than the average person's. You aren't broken and you aren't weird. You are likely using rare neurological tools to process a world that is often too loud and too shallow for your depth of thought. Today, we are going to look at the results of our recent community poll and go much deeper. We're going to unmask the hidden mechanics of your mind and look at 10 strange habits you do when you're alone that prove your intelligence is anything but ordinary. If you've ever felt like an outsider looking in, this is for you. Welcome to MindVeilx. Let's start with the habit that 40% of you voted for in our poll: talking to yourself. If you do this, you've probably felt the wave of embarrassment if someone accidentally caught you in the act. However, psychology says this is one of the most unique traits of a high functioning mind. When your brain is moving at 100 miles per hour, your internal thoughts can become a tangled, chaotic mess. By speaking out loud, you are effectively looping your internal ideas into the physical world. This auditory feedback allows your brain to catch errors and identify patterns that a silent mind would miss. It acts as a conductor leading a mental orchestra, using your own voice to keep your thoughts in sync and organized. High IQ individuals often use this as a self regulation tool. In high pressure or complex situations, you aren't crazy, you're conducting a high level data audit on your own neural pathways. You are literally talking your way into a breakthrough while others are still trying to find the first thread of a thought. Next up is pacing. Have you ever found it impossible to think clearly while sitting still? If you need to walk in circles or pace the room to solve a problem, you are utilizing kinetic intelligence. For many deep thinkers, physical movement acts as a pump for neural flow. While most people run from silence, a rare mind uses it as fuel, often pairing that silence with rhythmic movement. Research into brain glitches suggests that for some rare minds, the motor cortex and the cognitive centers are deeply linked. The repetitive motion of pacing reduces background noise in the brain, allowing you to reach a state of hyperfocus. You aren't restless, you are literally walking your way into a complex solution. While society sees a nervous habit, your brain sees a strategic ritual to unlock divergent thinking. This is a hallmark of a mind that cannot be contained by static, mundane environments. Take a look at your closet, your garage, or your computer bookmarks. Do you have what we call a graveyard of unfinished projects? Most people, and probably your friends or family, call this a lack of discipline. They see a half-finished painting, a coding project you abandoned after a week, or a guitar gathering dust, and they think you're a quitter. But in the world of high intelligence, this is known as the polymath advantage. Your brain is likely built for an M-shaped future, where having a wide portfolio of interests is more valuable than being a master of one. You don't lack discipline, you possess an extremely high learning velocity. Once your brain has solved the core mechanics of a new hobby and can see the path to mastery, it stops producing the dopamine that fueled your interest. You quit because you've already extracted the intellectual value and are ready for the next challenge. Your graveyard isn't a sign of failure, it's a museum of your vast intellectual curiosity. You are a scanner in a world of specialists, and that is a rare gift. Why is it that you feel most alive and creative at 2 a.m.? This isn't just a bad sleep schedule. It's a biological preference often found in people with high sensory processing sensitivity. During the day, the world is full of social noise, interruptions, and sensory data that you are forced to filter constantly. This can be exhausting for a highly sensitive brain, but at night, the world goes quiet. The silence acts as a buffer, finally allowing your hyperactive neural pathways to breathe without distraction. This is when your late night curiosity takes over. Research shows that people with a rare mindset often get more emotional or creative at night. While the rest of the world sleeps, your brain is finally free to explore deep philosophical questions, work on complex projects, or simply exist without the unseen weight of society's expectations. For a rare mind, the dark isn't lonely. It's the only time you can finally hear yourself think. Do you feel a genuine sense of physical exhaustion when someone starts talking about celebrity gossip or their weekend grocery list? High IQ individuals often have what we call a high bandwidth filter. Your brain is hungry for data rich conversations, topics that explore the why and the how rather than just the what. To you, small talk feels like a waste of precious cognitive energy. It's like trying to run a high end computer program on an old dial up connection. You aren't being rude or antisocial. Your brain is simply searching for a connection point that actually offers intellectual fuel. You crave depth because your neural pathways are designed for deep diving, not surface skimming. You would rather sit in silence, a silence that you find mentally stimulating, than engage in social noise that doesn't feed your mind. Do you find yourself constantly rereading your own sent messages or replaying conversations in your head? Most people would call this social anxiety, but for you, it is likely metacognition, the rare ability to think about your own thinking. You are performing a constant internal audit of your social interactions to ensure precision and clarity. You are obsessed with communication because you likely grew up as an observer, learning that being misunderstood could lead to conflict or rejection. By rereading your messages, you are ensuring that your external reality matches your high internal standards for truth. You aren't overthinking, you are running a complex social simulation to ensure your true self is understood in a world that rarely truly listens. You are a deep thinker in a shallow world, and your need for precision is what makes you rare. Do you often get a bad feeling about someone that everyone else seems to love, only to be proven right months later? This is intuitive pattern recognition. Because your brain processes data so quickly, you are picking up on micro expressions, tonal shifts, and hidden intentions that others miss. This often stems from traumatic intelligence, a survival mechanism developed in childhood where you had to read the room to stay safe. You aren't judgmental, you are just seeing the science of the unseen in real time. You are a walking human lie detector, and while it can be isolating to see what others don't, it is one of your greatest biological strengths. You have learned that silence and eye contact are often more revealing than words. Finally, let's talk about why you often choose to go silent when you're upset or overwhelmed. Society tells you to speak your mind, but for a rare mind, silence is often the most effective way to protect your peace. You go silent not because you have nothing to say, but because you have too much to say, and you know that most people aren't equipped to hear it. You have learned that walking away silently is a form of self preservation. You aren't being passive aggressive, you are performing a mental reset. You have realized that once you realize nobody cares, you win, and that your energy is better spent on internal reflection than on external explanation. Your silence is your sanctuary. If you recognize yourself in these habits, I want you to stop feeling guilty for being different. You weren't broken, you are simply operating on a high frequency signal that the rest of the world hasn't tuned into yet. Your weird habits are actually the symptoms of your rare strength. You possess a rare mindset that values truth over trends and depth over drama. But I have to ask, which of these habits felt like I was reading your mind? Was it the self talk, the pacing, or that graveyard of unfinished projects? Tell your story in the comments. I read as many as I can, because your stories are what make MindVeilx a home for the deep thinkers. The smart ones will feel seen by these signs, but the rarest minds will feel finally understood. If this video made you feel a little less weird and a lot more understood, hit that like button and subscribe. Let's keep unmasking the hidden mechanics of your mind together. Until next time, protect your peace